Hello and welcome to Spatial Data Hub. In this lesson 2 of your QGIS Origin course, you will learn how to understand and manage spatial data using QGIS. Yeah, you will also learn how to import this data into QGIS, vectors, rasters, how to create vectors of your own, how to perform georeferencing, and then editing, digitizing, and manipulating vectors right here in QGIS software. So on my screen here, I have the three different kinds of geometries for vector data: points, lines, and polygons. So vector data is represented in these three different kinds. They are editable, unlike rasters. Rasters are like images which we would see later on when we're importing them. They're like images and they just hold value in their individual cells or pixels. Yeah. So now let's show you how to import data into spatial data into QGIS. Switch back to the project which you created earlier, which is your first name QGIS origin. And we're going to save. Now, want to import your data into QGIS, I have my data here, which you would also see in the directory which you've downloaded. So first, let's import a geo package. We can easily drag and drop these files into QGIS. We can also go through the browser panel through the home. Yes, through the home, we can drag these into QGIS, saying like this thing. Or we can also say, let's go through um, the data source manager. Check this box for data source manager if you haven't done that in the last lesson. And then you'll see open data source manager. This is for a database I am connected to. Let's go to vector. To import a vector file, Geo packages, ship files, they're all vector files. So now you navigate to the directory where you have your file saved. So I've already brought in this one, this building data. You can also bring it in if you want, but just click on open and it opens up. You can try that yourself. Now let's import a shape file. Shape files come with several other extensions, file extensions. Remember, J packages have the extension .gpkg. Shape files come with CPG, DBF, PRJ, and so on. But when you are importing, the one of interest is the .shp. Click on it and click on open. You don't need to do any other thing here, just add. And it's added to your data, your map canvas. Next, we'll be importing a CSV file. To import a CSV file, you go to delimited text, and also use the browser button to navigate to the directory of choice. You already have one here. Click on it and click on open. Remember, this file needs to be saved as a CSV, not Excel. Yeah, so you need to check if your file is in Excel. If your file is not showing here, make sure that it's saved as a CSV and not Excel. Click on open. Automatically, it identifies these as point coordinates. Point coordinates meaning that it has coordinates with embedded in it. And then you see this short preview of the data sets. It has the long and the lat. The two things we'll need to set here are the X field. X is your longitude. Y is your latitude. Now you will check this box if DMS coordinates, if your coordinates are in degrees, minutes, and seconds. So let's say you have 10 degrees, 52 minutes, blah, blah, blah seconds. That's how your coordinates are written. Then you check this box. But in this case, my coordinates are in decimal degrees, right? So you don't need to do that. The next thing you can be concerned with is the coordinate reference of choice. Remember in the last lesson we discussed about coordinate references. So if you are using a different coordinate reference from what is detected, then adjust this. You can also use the coordinate reference browser button to search for your coordinates using the EPSG or the coordinate name, as the case may be, and set that properly. When you're done with all of those settings, if you have a height field as well, you will select it and then click on add, and it adds your coordinates to your map canvas. Now you could also do the same thing when importing tables. Maybe this table does not have a coordinates. You just want to bring it in like that. You would also go to the delimited text and let's just select the same file. If it doesn't have coordinates or you don't want it to be referenced on the map, you just want to bring it as a table, you click on no geometry, and then of course you see you don't need to be concerned with any of those lot lang and whatever. Just click on add and your file is added to your map canvas. The last one which we'll be working with is a raster file. The raster file. To import a raster file, go to raster. As usual, click on file. You could use the protocol if you're importing a point cloud data, which is like you're streaming it from the internet. So you just select protocol and then paste the URL. Store for another day. So click on your browser button, select your raster data. This case is that of your Landsat data. Click on open, add, close. Let's zoom to where this guy is so you see what a raster data looks like. Right click and zoom to layer. So you see this data has pixels. It's made up of pixels. We can see the little squares. It's made up of pixels of different sizes holding valuable data inside it. If you use the identify tool, you'll be able to see that each cell has a value. As you can see here, the value changes. Each cell has a value ascribed to it. And the cells are of equal sizes, but between different rasters, they can be of different sizes. Now, next we'll talk about converting from one file format to another file format. Let's say you want to visualize your data in your shapefile in Excel, right? Let's try that. You want to visualize your shapefile in Excel. See, this is our building data. Remember how we brought it in as a G package. To open it in Excel, you can say save features. So if you also have a few features selected, you can also say save selected features. I'll talk about that later on more. Save features. This time your file format will not be JPackage again. You can convert from JPackage to shapefile and shapefile to JPackage using this exact same format. Yeah. So if we are to convert to shapefile, we just click on shapefile and then enter the file name where we want this to be saved. I'll just put it here. Anything that comes to mind. You set the coordinate reference of choice. Then if you have any fields that you want to remove from here or select from here, you make the decision at this point. And once you're done with that, click on OK. Right? If you want to convert it into a CSV, which you can open on Excel, you see it here, comma separated variable. If you want to convert it to a DXF file or a GeoJSON or any other file of choice, you have a barrage of options which you could select from. This time, let's try the CSV and click on OK. It has now opened in as a CSV. So you could check it out from where it is saved. I pushed mine to my desktop. Yeah. You can now open this file, which was your buildings file, read only, because it's still open on my QGIS. Because so you can see a buildings file, the attributes table is now populated here in an Excel file. That is that about that. Next, we'll look at creating vector files. To create vector files, we'll look at creating JPackages, creating shape files, and whatnot. To create a JPackage file, click on New JPackage, select the database. No, I want it to go into the folder which we are working on. Sorry. So let's create a points layer or houses, house. You select the geometry of choice. House will be polygon, right? Yeah. And select the coordinate reference of choice. Now, if you want to populate some of the fields in it, let's say you want to show the name of the house, that'll be a text or string. Add to field list. If you want to show the address, you would also add that to the field list. And any other detail which you want to be populated into your data, you add that to the field list. If you are dealing with numbers, let's say it's length or the area of the house, then you could use a decimal double, let's say area, and also add to the field list. When you're done, click on OK. Your file is created for you. House selected. If you now you can create multiple GeoPackages inside a single GeoPackage layer. Right? Let me show you how. Go back to start create GeoPackage. Remember your data source manager. Go to your browser. Now select that same file which you created first. Select it and click on save. You could use a different name and say roads. You could use multiple file formats, multiple geometries rather. Multiple geometries, this time to be a line string, and then of course you can set any of the names here, any of the attributes here, and click on OK. It will ask you, do you want to overwrite the file or add a new layer? If you are overwriting it, it will mean you are cancelling whatever it's on the database, on the data earlier, on the file earlier. But we can add a new layer, and then that new layer gets added on the same file. You see, there will not be any roads data here, just house. Correct? That's what it feels like. So the next is creating a shape file. Creating a shape file is basically the same process. You select a file name, and let's call it pools. Defaulted to a shape file. Again, you select a geometry type, it's a point, and then the other geometry types here, like multi-point or multi-line strings. Multi-points means that you could, if you're creating multi-points, you would, let's say you want to show trees, and these trees just have one label, right? Not different kinds of trees. So you set that's a multi-point, and then click on several points. I think I'll work on that on a separate video and add it to the description of this video. So let's set it as points. You can set your fields or value. The shapefile has a character limit of 10 characters. So be careful with how you do that. When you're done, click on OK. Next, we'll see how to add satellite base maps to your QGIS map canvas. So instead of going to Google Earth and bringing your image to QGIS, you could bring in your satellite-based map directly on QGIS here. There are some paid options, but we'll use the free option, which is the Google and the OpenStreetMaps. There are two ways to do this. First, you could use the Open Map services, the Quick Map services. Go to your plugins, make sure your internet connection is set up, click on Manage and Install Plugins. Now search for Quick Map services. You will see it here. Install the plugin if you haven't installed it and close. Now go to your web. You see Quick Map services. You see OSM standards, and it's added to your map canvas. So wherever it is in the world which you want to navigate to, you could do that using this base map. Now you could add other base maps like Google and Google Hybrid. I like Google Hybrids. Let's do this now. So I'll add this document to the Drive folder which you will get for this course, and you could check that out. Now on your browser panel, remember your browser panel, right? You will see XYZ tiles. As you can see, I have a host of map services that are added to my base map. Click here, right click and say new connection. This is Google Hybrid, so let's call it GH so I don't confuse it with what's already there. On the URL, paste the link which you have copied. Make sure you copy it correctly and click on OK. It might take a few seconds to load, but it will definitely load correctly. I'm not sure why the application shuts down, but it eventually added here to my map XYZ tiles. I'm not sure. I think the QGIS application is broken. So you could try the other options here. And let me know in the comment section or in the community if you have any problem with this, and I'll see if there are better solutions. So you can add this to your map canvas by right clicking and saying add layer to project, or you can simply drag it in and drop it into the map canvas. I like to keep my base map at the bottom. So your base map gives you an idea of what the land is behind it. Let's go to different parts of the world. As you can see, you get an idea of what the satellite imagery looks like. Now let's try the search tab on QGIS. On my browser, I have my maps open, Google Maps open. Right click on your maps and copy the coordinates. Now go to your QGIS application at the bottom of the tab, at the bottom of the search tab here. Paste your coordinates, latitude, longitude, and click on OK. This base map is very noisy. Let's turn it off and add the OpenStreetMap. Oh, I see. So double clicking on it already adds it here. So let's click on enter. As you can see that red dot flashing in the middle. So you can zoom in to see where exactly it is. You can continue to zoom in. Hopefully over time they work on how this works better. So it flashes and you zoom in to see the exact point on QGIS. So if you have a point that you want to search for on QGIS, you could use that method. You could also use the nominational geocoder to type. Just use your right angle brackets and type the location which you are heading to. Let's say Twin Lakes. We use the Twin Lakes in Colorado. Let's see if it comes out here. Yeah, you can see it here. Twin Lakes, County, Colorado. You also see the Lake County in Colorado, and let's select this. Again, you see it here. And you click on it, that red dot flashes, and it takes you directly to the location of interest. Yeah. So the next thing we'll do is georeferencing. Go back to your Google Maps. I believe you know how to get to this point. If you don't, let's create a new tab. Click on the Google Apps and then Maps. Now we'll let's search for Colorado, US. This is why I like to use Google Maps for georeferencing. So if you are trying to georeference, create a study area map for a region, yeah, you could easily use this Google Maps option because it will highlight the boundary of the area. I chose this option because it's very easy to digitize here. So there are many ways to do this. One way to do it is using screenshots. So screenshot this layer. Let's go back to our QGIS. To georeference a layer, hit save. Remember, save a project. Go to layer, georeferencer. You'll see the open raster. Select the raster and click on open. Now the image has been opened here. You could also do this with PDF files or documentations and similar things, not just screenshots. But the same principle applies. Now, the idea about georeferencing is that you're trying to assign geographic coordinates to this simple image. This is just an image. On your map canvas, there is nothing it could do for you because it does not have a geographic reference, a coordinate reference, right? Now you're trying to assign that geographic coordinates to it. What will we call these points? So you add the control points, the coordinates of all these points on your map. That's what we are doing. So 3 or 4 points is enough. Let's add the first point. We can zoom in very well to make sure that we are on it. Click on the first point. There are two options. You can go back to your map and check what is the eastern and the northern and paste it here. Or you could go to the map canvas. Let's go to the map canvas. The map canvas is a little more complex, so we'll try that. Now you go to this point on your map and right click, copy the coordinates. Go to your QGIS, you see my georeferencer is minimized here, don't mind it. Just click here, we'll type imaginary, delete what is there, and Ctrl V, enter. You see it enters here. It shows the points, the intersection. Your job is not to click on that intersection because you said from map canvas, you are going to get the coordinates from the map canvas. So you are coming here to identify where is that point that you clicked on your georeferencer on the map canvas. Okay? So you click here, it assigns the coordinates. It grabs the coordinates directly. Click on OK. We'll do this for 3 other points. You could do it for 2 more other points only. But we'll try for 3. We'll click here from map canvas. Go back to your browser. Remember the points which you clicked, because if you jumble it up, then you know that your image will come out in a flying pattern. And if that happens, let me know in the comment section so I can laugh. Paste this and click on OK. It identifies the points for you. If you are not clear on the point exactly, click on it again and enter so that it identifies the point again for you. Click on OK. So this applies to when you're referencing any kind of satellite image. Just look for a landmark, look for a marker point, and then just select, enter the coordinates, and proceed as planned. So once you're done clicking on all the points of interest, no, we don't want more than that. You go to your settings, select your transformation settings. There's nothing much you're doing here. Just setting up all of these things. Make sure that it's our nearest neighbor, coordinate reference. Then you could also select the directory of choice. Let us send it. Let's just leave it here for time's sake. And click on OK. And then start georeferencing. Your georeferencing is successfully completed and it has been added to your map. Now you would know if your georeferencing was successful if it aligns almost perfectly with your base map, which you can see on the screen right now. If it aligns perfectly with your base map, there are different ways to know. First, one thing you could do is to just turn it off and look with your eyes to see if your points are on exactly the same point. Turn it on and see, and turn off and see. Or you could go here to the transparency and set the opacity to somewhere lower to see if both of them blend almost completely into each other. I think we have done a very good job with this. Yeah, so that's how you perform georeferencing. You could do this when working on any kind of map, topographic maps, even if the map does not have coordinates. Even if the map does not have coordinates, you will get the coordinates from Google Maps and assign it on your QGIS. Okay, so finally, we'll talk about digitizing. Digitizing. So remember, we created points after I restarted my QGIS. Some of those things we created disappeared. So let's work with this building. Now to digitize your layer, right click here. You will see your digitizing toolbar, check this box. And also you see your advanced digitizing toolbar, check this box. This is your digitizing tool. I dragged and dropped mine here. You would likely find yours somewhere around here. But for easy access, you can move it anywhere you want. So click on toggle editing. And then if you're working with a polygon, which we want to do now, you will say add polygon feature. You see add polygon feature here. If you're working with a line, you will see add line feature. If you're working in points, you see add point feature. So when you click on add polygon feature, this is how you digitize. We want to create a map of Colorado. Remember, this is raster. We want to make a vector. That's what digitizing is. You're converting from raster to vector. All right? Yes. So you click when your crosshairs open, you can click as many points as you want along the path. We will not be so perfect with this. But you click. When you're done, right click, and then it will bring out the pop-up list of all the attributes that you are supposed to fill out in your attributes table. If you don't want to fill them out, you can leave it and fill them out at a later time. But if you want to, you fill that out and click on OK. This is at the top of the building, so we will not see what we are doing. What else is describing it in this map? Now you can see the polygon feature has been added. So you could try that. And then when digitizing, also right click here and select your snapping toolbar. Make sure it's shown snapping. This will be your snapping toolbar, the magnet button. Enable snapping. And then when you hover over a point, a vertex, it identifies it. If you want to digitize the state below Colorado, are you sure this thing is working? No, it's not. Click on your buildings. Click on your buildings. Make sure the building, the layer which you want to edit is clicked on. And always save your edits. Saving your edits, your digitizing edits is different from saving these edits here. Here you can see my cursor now. This one saves your QGIS project. This one saves your layer project. If you enable autosaver, it will also help you with that. So now you click, you can see this red trail. You can use it to know if what you're doing is working. You click, you click, you click. When you're done, right click and click on OK. Okay. So this is how you digitize in QGIS. The same thing happens for lines. If you want to digitize a line feature, click on the layer, toggle editing, and select add new line feature. Let's digitize this road. You click, click, click. When you're done, right click and click on OK. If you turn off the base map, you will see a line feature. So that is how to digitize. Now at street junctions, you would like to click so that it creates a vertex which will meet up with when digitizing the other section of the road. The same thing for points. You can add your points as needed. So now you could also manipulate vectors, right? We have these buildings here. Let's say we want to shift them, want to adjust them or edit them. There are several things which you could do. You could decide to move them. See move feature. You can move a feature from one point to another. You can move a feature from one point to another. You could click on this drop down and say copy and move. So if you want to duplicate the feature, you could click on it and move the same feature here and anywhere and anywhere. Right click to exit that move. You can undo your digitizing like this. Fine. Then you could use this vertex tool. Click on this vertex tool. The drop down allows you to select if it's all layers or just the current edit layer. You can set it to all layers. So if you have digitized this feature and it's not digitized correctly, okay, you could adjust this. Make sure your snapping is on. So you adjust the vertexes and click on it. And you can move the vertices, you can move the nodes. If you move on the line, you can move the line feature directly. Yes. Hover over this line, you could see that you can add a vertex and just move it anywhere. You could literally do anything with this. The same thing applies to points features. Let's go to these coordinates. Let's zoom to this layer. We can't edit this because it is CSV. You need to convert it to a JPackage first or a shape file before you could edit it. Okay. So to work with this point, I cannot see the points. Yeah. Now you can edit this layer. You can use this vertex tool to shift them to where you want them to be. As you can see right now. You could do other things too. Let's say you have this line feature. Let's create this line feature again. Let's say you have this line feature like this. Click on OK. Let's come back here. You have another line feature like this. Click on OK. Now you have two line features, right? If you use your select tool, right click here, you'll see your selection toolbar. Click on the selection and click on this. It is selected. You have two different line features, right? You can merge these two line features into one if that's what you want. On your advanced digitizing toolbar, you'll see merge layers, merge selected features. To give you options for the final merge, and then you select which attributes you want on the merge layer feature, and you click on OK, and they now become one single feature. You could also do the same thing to split the feature by going to split features. Make sure your feature is selected first, right? Split features, and you can split along the vertices. And remember, you can always adjust these vertices using the vertex tool, just like we did with the line feature. You could shift this, you could add an extra layer of line. When you hover over the last point, no, right click first. When you hover over the last point, you see this plus. It allows you add an extra line as you want it on QGIS. What else have we not done? So that'll be it for this video. Let me know if things worked out well for you, especially for adding those base maps. I'm not sure why it creates that lag, but that is the case here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.